Yep, there it is. All right, welcome to the next episode of NBA Check, man. This episode, we going to get into free agency. There's so much going on today in NBA free agency. Lots to talk about. Milwaukee Bucks making moves. You got the Hawks making moves. We're going to get into the Mavericks. We're going to get into LeBron. And then we're going to get into, some of the local teams, the Knicks, the Nets, all that and much more, man. We be right back after the intro. Y'all hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Brand new podcast coming your way. NBA Heat Check. Fire it up. Let's go. All right, man. Let's get into it, man. Let's get into NBA Heat Check, man. The NBA was literally on fire today, man.
Yes,
lots and lots of news to get to. I'm your boy NYG Double Deuce, aka Unpopular Opinion Sports, here with my co-host Big Pat Sports Talk and Coach Ed Gladney from Coach Ed's Amazing World of Sports, man. Our resident coach in the building, man. And look, Coach Pat, Dame Lillard is a free agent, if you could believe that. Yeah, I said it. Damian Lillard is a free agent. The Milwaukee Bucks, for some odd reason, decided to release the man. Now, caveat, he's hurt. Probably gonna miss most, if not all, of next season. But again, we talking about Dame Dollar, Dame Time, Damian Lillard, one of the most clutch players in the NBA. You know, we're talking about somebody who the Bucks traded for. We're talking about somebody that was supposed to be Giannis's right-hand man moving forward into the future, and they were supposed to build a championship contender in Milwaukee with Damian Lillard and Giannis. Now, Dame's gone. And questions about Giannis. But the Bucks did make a corresponding move. And we're going to get into that here in just a little bit. But I want to get Pat and Coach's reaction to this Dame Lillard news. Because, I was shocked. Absolutely shocked, man. Talk to him, fellas, man. What y'all think about this?
I think it's a weird situation. It looks like it was a very expensive, weird experiment that didn't go correct. They brought Dame Lillard over, like you said, to be that 1-2 punch with Giannis, the Greek freak, and it didn't quite work out. And I do believe they made a mistake getting rid of Drew Holiday and some of those people from that championship team that they got. And they brought in Doc Rivers and everything. I think they just really messed up this team. Trying to make this team more of a big market type team. to try to bring some more star power and Doc Rivers and Dame Lillard and getting some other guys, and it just didn't work out, man. Some teams are just supposed to be blue collar teams. Supposed to have people like Bobby Portis out there. Supposed to have people like Drew Holiday out there with the Bucks. They're a blue collar team. You know, if the Pacers are small market, you know Milwaukee is super small market. So it's just tragic what happened to Dame Lillard with the injury, the Achilles injury. So you'll probably miss this whole season. But I think it was just an expensive failed experiment for the Bucks, man, and it should have never happened. Dame Lillard should have never left Portland, and the Bucks should have never allowed Drew Holiday to walk out, man. I do believe that team could have contended in the East for years if they would have kept that team together, because it was strong defensively, and Giannis had the offense correct. They had shooters around them. Middleton, sad for him, he kept getting hurt too. But, I mean, it is what it is, man. You had Biggs and Lopez and Bobby Portis and Giannis. Yeah, a whole bunch of people on that team, and they just screwed it up, man. But, Coach, what you think about the whole thing?
I think this move coincides with the other moves that they did, especially the big free agent move that they did. You know, we're going to talk about those a little bit later, but you know, with this move, I think Shams was talking about that last night on the ESPN SportsCenter late night, where they're spreading his contract out over quite a few years, so they don't eat all that money right away. I mean, when you think about it, I mean, last year he's averaging 24.9 points per game, 4.7 rebounds, 7.1 assists on roughly 45% shooting from the field, from the floor, about 38% from the 3-point line, and 92% from the free throw line. You know, there's also an efficiency field goal rating of 54.7. So that's someone who, you know what, I know he has the Achilles. You still want to keep that around because that's still a top-notch player in the NBA. That's not somebody who's a scrub who can't play. Now, I understand when you come back from the Achilles, your point production will go down. I mean, even Kobe Bryant, when he had that Achilles, he lost 5 points when he came back. So it does take some time. So if you just figure 5 points, he's still giving you 19, 20 points a game. You know, you can expect him to give you 19, 20 points a game, you know, roughly. So I think this is more about the money and the ability to get other free agents, because don't forget, they lost Brook Lopez. So that's also a big blow. So, you know, this is more about that than anything else. I don't think they don't think he can play. It's just right now. And then with Giannis, you have all the drama with Giannis. Is he going to leave? Is he going to stay? You know, he's monitoring what Milwaukee is doing. So I think this is about the money and trying to get other players in here that can, number one, keep Giannis there and help them win.
Yeah, man. Definitely. But staying Lillard though, man, like, and you think you want to get something for him. I mean, you just letting him walk. Now he can go to possibly one of your rivals and haunt you for the foreseeable future. You know, and don't even talk about Giannis possibly leaving. Oh man. If he leaves, Lord, and you don't get nothing for him or Dame Lillard, nasty word. But the Bucks are not, you know, resting or laying, you know, folding their hands and just not doing nothing. You know, they went out and got Miles Turner. Big man Miles Turner, we all know him from, of course, the Pacers. They were just in the NBA Finals not too long ago, man. But Miles Turner signing with the Bucks, gonna replace Brooke Lopez, who went to the Clippers. So now Miles Turner's not a bad player. You know, I personally don't like his game, but that doesn't mean he's not a contributor in the NBA. He's a good player. You know, he can stretch the floor for you. You know, he can get physical, as y'all say, when he wants to. But you know, he's a big guy. He's got length, you know, size, and he can score and he can shoot the three. So that is very valuable in today's NBA. But is this enough? Is this move? I mean, they made other moves. We're gonna get into that here in a little bit, but is this enough for them to possibly keep Giannis calm? I think that's what they're trying to do. Trying to appease him in some way, but it's head scratching because how you doing that? You traded a multi-time All-Star, possibly future Hall of Famer. But Miles Turner, let's speak on that, man. What does he bring to the Bucks, man? Pat, start with you.
Well, if Miles Turner is on this game, he does bring a bigger presence down low to go with Bobby Portis and the Greek Freak himself, low post presence. And if he's shooting the way that they want him to shoot, it could be a good pickup for him because Giannis can get in the post, he can kick it out to Turner, he can hit those corner threes. I do believe Turner will get a lot more open threes playing with the Greek Freak out there that he was doing with the Pacers. I do believe he'll get more open shots, but he's going to have to go down there and be a good rebounder for him. They're going to need his rebounding help. It can't be Giannis with all the offense and playing defense and grabbing rebounds and getting assists and doing this and doing that. And ain't nobody else doing anything out there to help him down there in the low post. Is he going to be able to be that defensive force, you know, that they're losing with Lopez? You know, Bobby Portis is going to do his thing. He's going to give you some open shooting as well. But I think Miles Turner is going to have to get a lot stronger down there in the post. And he's going to have to get more consistent with his three-point shot. When he's on, he's on. But when he's off, he's way off. So we'll see what Miles Turner can do out there with the Bucks. Coach, what you think about what Miles Turner can bring to this team with the Bucks, man?
Number one, NYG asks, is it enough? Don't forget, they're playing in the East. So right now, the East is wide open. So could it be enough to have them compete for the Eastern Conference Final? Possibly. It's a possibility. I mean, you know, you still got, you know, other teams that you still have to worry about. Cleveland, you know, Orlando, Atlanta has done well. So yes, Detroit. So yes, you know, but does it diminish them? I don't, you know, does it take away from what they did last year? No, I think it does help them to some regards. I mean, he's bringing you 15.6 points per game, 6.5 rebounds, 1.5 assists, on 48% field goal percentage, roughly 40% on three-point shooting, 77% on free throws, and his efficiency field goal percentage is about 58%. So he does bring you some value, you know, to the table. So Pat made a good point as far as, you know, the rebounding. He does have to up that up, you know, because one thing about Brooke Lopez, there are times that he can get you double-digit rebounds. So, you know, he may be a little, you know, cumbersome, you know, but, you know, as far as the three-pointer, they're both pretty much about the same. So they open up the lane for Giannis, so he's not losing anything there. You know, maybe he's a little bit more efficient as a three-point shooter than Brooke. I'd have to look at Brooke's numbers to really get a true understanding. But you know, he's going to bring something. And also, he's younger than Brooke Lopez, so that's another thing. He's under 30, so he's still young. So, is this something that can keep Giannis here? Yeah, I think it does. I know some people are, a lot of people are still wondering, is he going to leave? Because he's monitoring, but he's also a loyal guy. He's very loyal, and he's trying to give Milwaukee every opportunity to put players around him to keep him there. So we'll see. Do I think they still have another move or two to do? Yes, but you know what? It's interesting. So I'm going to see.
And NYG, just to speak on what Coach was talking about, and I want you to look at this too, man. This is what the Milwaukee Bucks starting lineup, potential lineup, is this upcoming season. You got Kevin Porter Jr., Gary Trent Jr., Kyle Kuzma, Greek Freak, and Miles Turner. I don't think that's a bad lineup in the East. I don't think that's a bad lineup at all. So that's why I have, the sense of telling Giannis, man, just get focused, bro. Handle what you can handle, get focused, and I think you can do some damage out there in the East with this team. Because you gotta remember, the Knicks don't have a coach. The Pacers, Halliburton is gone, and you took away from the Pacers by getting their best big man in Miles Turner. The Celtics, Tatum is gone, and they're getting rid of everybody. The Pistons are very young. The Orlando Magic are very young. Like the Cavaliers, you could compete with the Cavaliers with that roster. I think they got a chance. After all the crazy stuff that's happened, I think they really got a chance.
The only question I would have is a true point guard. That's the only thing. Is Kevin Porter really a true point guard?
No, it's Giannis.
Exactly.
He handles the ball.
He handles it. So, Dame, he could get guys set up. So, we'll see what happens. Now if they bring someone in, that's what I said. Still have to see what they're going to do. I don't know what their cap is. I don't know what their tax penalty is. So, there's still more to see going forward. But looking at this lineup, yeah, you're right, man. They can play some defense with that too. So they
did make some moves though. Some other moves. Now, Gary Trent Jr., of course, signed. He came in on a 2-year, $7.5 million deal. The Miles Turner deal was 4 years, 107. So, as you mentioned, Coach, that's where the Dame Lillard money is pretty much going. They bought back Jericho Sims.
Yep.
So, I mean, they're trying. They're trying. You got to give them that E for effort. They are trying. But I don't know, bro.
I mean, looking at Milwaukee's ratings last year, offensively they were 115.9, which was 11th in the league, and defensively they were 113.4, which was 12th. So that's a differential of 2.5, which would had them in the middle of the pack. So right there, that's telling me they're still a playoff team. So and what they were 47, 48 wins last year. So, and again, in the East, we talked about it. Indiana is not going to, I'm sorry, you just took Miles Turner, that's a key cog, and then Halliburton is out for the most of the, if not all of the year. So that's those are two big starters off of their roster right there. So, you don't know what's up with Philly, what's happening with them. Boston, they're decimated. Detroit, we talked about, you said Detroit is young. They lost two of their key players in Schroeder and Tim Hardaway Jr. Now, those guys were key veterans that helped those young guys last year. So
don't forget about Beasley.
Yeah, Beasley. Yeah, so it's like, you sit and you talked about the Knicks. Now look, once they get the coach, we can make the joke about the coach. They don't have a coach. But look, they're not going to go into the season without a coach. So you look at what they're doing, they're still going to be a good team. So Orlando, anybody who knows me knows I've always been high on Orlando. They're they're bringing in quality players. Atlanta, you have to really like what they have done this free agency.
Yeah,
which we're going to get into a little bit later. So it's like the East, though. I mean, Cleveland, mentally. The biggest thing with Cleveland, come playoff time, are they mentally broken? That's going to be my biggest thing with them because they have talent. You know, remember they were number one in the East, and you know they were there, but they lost to Indiana. So, and it's been 2 years in a row. So, you know, are there any other moves that they can do? So, for Milwaukee, it's not far fetched to think that, you know what, they could be in the top 4. They really can.
Yeah, but what is that? Where's that get you though? Where's that get you? Giannis is talking about winning championships, and hang on.
But the thing about it is, you just want to be in that top 4 because nobody, all last year, nobody was talking about Indiana. Nobody was talking about Indiana. And then
and where did they end up at?
They one game away from winning.
They went home.
That they were.
But they went home.
But if it wasn't for the injury of Halliburton, you can make the argument that they could have competed with OKC, and that game could have been a lot different.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not going to sit here and dismiss Indiana. My point being, you're saying about, well, what does that get you being in the top 4? You want to get hot in the playoffs and getting into that top 4. You don't know what happens. And you know what? Another move here or there, and guess what? Milwaukee could really be making some serious moves. So right now, everything is contingent upon Giannis. If Giannis says, I want out, that shuts down everything with them. But if he's there and you put another piece or two around him, I'm not going to dismiss and just be like, oh, no, they got a long ways to go. No. If they can get into the top 4, they can do some damage, in my opinion.
I do think they can make the playoffs. I don't see this team right now as one of the top 4 teams. And let's let free agency play out though. Let's see what these other teams do. You know, and we're gonna get into that. Bucks, by the way, also signing Gary Harris forward to a 2-year deal with a player option too. Let's get into the Hawks. We did mention the Hawks and some of the moves that the Hawks made because the Porzingis move, remember, they made that, you know, trade, you know what I'm saying? Was it before the draft or whatever, right? So they did do that. But yeah, the Bucks, I mean the Bucks. The Hawks also bringing in Luke Kennard and Alexander Walker over in free agency. So getting Trae Young, getting young Trae some help, you know, and to be honest with you, the Hawks, the Atlanta Hawks. Now, while we talking about the Bucks, that's what I'm saying. It ain't cut and dry. This Hawks team can make some noise now. This Hawks team can make some noise if things pan out. You know, if things pan out, I do think this team can make some noise. And look, man, say what you want about Trae Young. He is one of the best players in the NBA. He can shoot, and he's a high assist guy. So now you give him some options to pass the ball to, as well as, you know, some guys that can defend, you know. And you see teams are trying to really copy the Indiana OKC model a little bit here as they get in these piece fits for their teams. But man, these 3 cats right here, man, 3 good additions to the Hawks, and Porzingis, he just got his team on the court. But we seen Alexander walk in the playoffs, man. Luke Kennard, man, he straight shoot the lights out. So, but talk about these moves, man, that the Hawks are making, and can they push to one of those top teams in the Eastern Conference? Since the East is down, I will give you that, coach. It's a lot of flux in the Eastern Conference right now. But what about these Hawks?
Yeah, I think the Hawks are a team that could be a very pesky team as long as Trae Young is still, involved with the Hawks. As long as his mind is okay about what's been going on with the Hawks since they had that little playoff run, they haven't been the same. But getting people like Alexander Walker and Luke Kennard and Porzingis, if he's healthy, can help them out tremendously. These guys here, they bring shooting, they bring defense, and they bring it to where Trae Young can spread out the ball. Now, Porzingis, he will bring as far as height and shooting for this team. But the guy just happens to never stay healthy. He wasn't healthy with the Mavericks. He wasn't healthy with the Knicks. He wasn't healthy with the Celtics. He hasn't been healthy since like his rookie years, his rookie and first year. And then after that, it's just been hurt central. But it is a veteran presence. They do come from winning franchises. Porzingis with the Celtics, Alexander Walker with the Timberwolves, and Luke Kennard as well. Let's see what these guys can do for the Atlanta Hawks, man. I think they can, like y'all said, the East is open. And I actually like their roster too. If Trae Young is all in, I like their roster too in the East. Since everybody's been getting hurt, hey, anybody can step up and have a chance now.
That is true, man. But what's your thoughts, Coach, on the new additions for the Atlanta Hawks?
They have done right in terms of what they're doing right now. I mean, Porzingis, roughly about 19 and a half, 20 points a game, 6.8 rebounds, 2.1 assists. His field goals percentage is 48.3. From 3-point, he's 41.2, about 81% from the free throw line, and his efficiency field goal is 57.2. So, and again, he can be a rim protector, so he can definitely, with his height, he can definitely protect the rim. He helps open up the lane, pick and roll with him and Trae Young. That's a scary thought. Right there, I was sitting here, I'm saying to myself, man, that right there will really cause a whole lot of problems for a lot of teams. And they both can step back and shoot the three, or Trae Young can attack the rim, give him a lob. So the thing with Porzingis, more than anything, is during the regular season, I think it was Cheney was talking about it. I think she said it. She said during the regular season, you're going to have to do a heavy load management with him to get him ready for the playoffs, because you want him ready more for the playoffs than anything else. So that's where you want him to be more efficient and more effective, and take some of the pressure off of his legs, because that seems to always be what the issue is with him. It's his legs. So but they, and if they can gel, definitely a good move. Alexander Walker, we know the kid can play. Hey, he shays SGA's cousin, so they grew up and they were going at it. So the kid can play, so he can bring something to the table. And he's already played with one of the elite players in Anthony Edwards. So going to a different one, it's just going to help his game. And Kennard, it's one of those scrappy, do it all, different little, he's not a superstar, but he's a basketball player. So he brings you good talent across the board as a player. So and when you add on to what they have there, I mean, that's that's a team that, hey, Atlanta's going to be a team that you got to respect. Now, are they championship ready? I don't know as yet, but we'll see.
Yeah, man. The Hawks, I personally think got a good a chance as anybody in the East, man, because of that guy, Ice Trae Young, man. When you have a star, at least a star, a guy, that can hold you down and that can play for you in the clutch. And that's what it's about in the NBA. You know, you want a guy that you can give the ball to in the fourth quarter that can get you a bucket. It is a team game. And now we starting to see that you don't need 3, 4, 5 of them guys like they've been trying to build. You just need a guy. And if you got a guy and you put pieces around that guy, you're gonna be able to compete, man. I like these moves by the Hawks, man. Porzingis, like I said, if you manage him, maybe he can give you something down the stretch, man. But definitely Kennard and Walker are excellent fits, man. For this Atlanta Hawks team. Now, let's get into what the Denver Nuggets are doing. The Denver Nuggets are making moves, folks. They making moves. They made moves with my squad, the Brooklyn Nets, sending over Michael Porter Jr. to the Nets for Cam Johnson. For Cam Johnson now, if you're the Nuggets, you know, I think the time with Porter kind of ran its course over there in Denver. You get Cam Johnson, a fresh face. He can shoot the three. You know, I think he had career highs in scoring. Well, he was really the only scorer on the Nets. I mean, for most of the season, Cam Thomas was hurt. So I have to say, from the Nuggets standpoint, they get out of that contract. From the Nets standpoint, you get 2032 first round pick in the deal going back to the Nets. So Brooklyn collecting picks and the Nuggets collecting talent. You know, I think Cam Johnson will be a great fit over there. They also are signing Tim Hardaway Jr. Tim Hardaway Jr. going over to the Nuggets. The Nuggets pick up Jonas Valanciunas from the Kings for Dario Saric in a deal. So Denver trying to add as much as they can around Jokic. As much as they can around Jokic, because that's what it's about, right? Didn't I just tell y'all? Get a guy and put pieces around that guy. Bucks are doing it. Hawks are doing it. The Nuggets are doing it, man. How about these moves from the Denver Nuggets, man? Talk to me.
I think it's some very good moves that they made. You know, Valanciunas is a bigger body to have down there than Dario Saric, and you can put him out there with the Joker and dominate the paint with him. Cam Johnson can come off the bench and be that three guy that they wanted Michael Porter Jr. to play, and pay him less than half the money and give him less than half the minutes, and maybe get the same production at the three that they did from Porter Jr. I think the Nuggets are going to be pretty good again coming up this season, but we'll see.
What's your thoughts, Coach, man, on these Nuggets, man? Talk to us about how some of these moves can improve on, you know, some of the things they did last year, some of the numbers they put up. You know, I mean, Jokic is Jokic. We know he's gonna put up double-doubles, triple-doubles, so on and so forth, man. But how do you add around him? Like, is this enough? I keep asking that question because all these teams are kind of scrambling, you know, trying to do what they seen the Thunder do. But what's your thoughts, Coach?
Well, I'm gonna start with this. There's one other player that they brought in that we didn't touch on, and that's Bruce Brown.
Yeah,
They brought him back, and he was a key contributor to their championship win. So, I talked about a guy that does the dirty work. That's him. That's him. He does all the everythings, and can he? You were just talking about doing the things that OKC does. Can he be another Alex Caruso type player? Where he can guard different positions, and he can do a lot of different things. Now, he's not the scorer that Caruso is, but he does a lot of the little other things, rebounds, assists, because he can facilitate. So, during that championship run, that's something that, he definitely brought to the table. So, now the other things that they're putting around Joker, I mean, Cam Johnson coming over 18.8 points, 4.3 rebounds, 3.4 assists, 47.5 field goal, 3 points, 39%, free throws, 89%, true efficiency field goal, 58%. And then Tim Hardaway Jr., he's bringing you 11 points, 2.4 rebounds, 1.6 assists, 40.6 in field goal percentage, 36.8 in threes, 85.5 in the free throws, and 52.9 in the efficiency, true efficiency. So this is something that, excuse me, will help Joker, because remember, not only is Joker great at scoring and rebounds, but he's great at finding the open man. And these guys will get to the open spots, and they'll start getting some open threes because the defense is going to collapse in on Joker. And you know what? A lot of times they're going to be hitting the wide open threes. So it's definitely going to help them, especially being in the West. They need the help in the West, and also building depth on their team. So, because, last year they really didn't have a lot of depth also. So you need, as we're seeing now, which is the new trend, get depth onto your roster and use your depth. So that's something that I think that they're putting around Joker, and it's going to help in the long run.
Yeah, man, for sure, man. And to be honest with you, the Nuggets, I mean, they didn't lose anything with swapping Porter for Cam. You can say it's an upgrade if you want to call it that. I mean, depending on how you look at it. But I think, to be honest with you, Bruce Brown, I'm glad you brought that up, because when they lost him, it's like they wasn't the same, and sometimes a real small, subtle move like that is what a team like the Nuggets, who have been champions before, might need to get back to that level. Because I'll look at this as a team that you haven't really lost anything. You still got your key guys. Now, the coach is out of there. That is a big thing. That's a big deal. But Jokic, Murray, Gordon, still there. So just add little pieces. You was right there with OKC, 7 games. So the Nuggets, this is a team that more or less need to stay the course and just make subtle changes. So I like the moves, man. But
here's one other thing too. In terms of Denver, their offensive rating, they were 4th in the league at 19.9. Now, defensively, they were 116, which is, a difference of 3.9. But their defense was 22nd in the league. So that's where, some of these moves are also going to help, on the defensive end, because there were times I was watching Tim Hardaway Jr., especially against the Knicks. He was out there playing some defense. He was never known to be a defensive stopper, but he's effective in the defensive aspect of that. Brown is, Valanciunas, it is. So these moves are also going to help the defensive side of the game, because one of the things that OKC did, they played some great defense, and that led to them getting out on the break, and it helped their offense. So you know that's another factor that we can look at going into next season. How their defensive rating improves, because being fourth, that shows you that they got a good offensive system already there. So it's more about the defense.
Yeah, man, most definitely. And look, they're not the only team though in the Western Conference making moves.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about the Thunder for a minute. And the one move they made that they really needed to make. And y'all know what I'm talking about. My man, he got his money. He got his bag, man.
Mm-hmm.
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander getting paid. Getting 4 years, 285 million, that is. So look, man, he earned this. He absolutely earned this. MVP of the league, NBA champion. Now, you take care of who you need to take care of, Thunder. Exactly. You don't need to go out doing no crazy stuff like some of these other teams. You do what you need to do and pay your superstar. Way to go. They also gave Jalen Williams a contract. The center, the big man, Jalen Williams, and I'm sure the other Jalen and my man Holmgren, yeah. Never think of that cat's name for some reason. But Chet will definitely get his money too, man. But speak on the Gilgeous-Alexander contract for a second, fellas, man.
Well deserved. Considering what he did for that franchise, what he has done for that franchise, coming from the Clippers in a trade for Paul George, they should thank the Clippers. Man, the Clippers. But SGA developed over there, developed into one of the top players into the league, maybe be the face of the league now. He's allowed to do what he wants to do out there on the court. He gets to the free throw line, what you want your top star to do. He's consistent at the 3-point line. He's a consistent jump shooter. He may need to get that three more consistent. Saw him slack off in the playoffs a little bit, but he's brought them a championship, something that Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, and James Harden couldn't do. Not saying that he's better than those guys, but he brought them a championship. They didn't do that. So, of course, he's going to get his money. Of course, he's going to get his accolades. Of course, he's going to get the revere of the NBA. And he does have a nice game. I would like him to play a little bit stronger in the post and quit using that chicken wing arm all the time they let him get away with. But he's the face of the league right now, and he deserves his money. And you can tell that he's a leader on that team. He does get into anybody that's not playing up to the standard. He does set the standard. He goes out there and plays hard. And when they needed him the most, he came through. In that game, what was it, game 2? No, game 3? When they pulled that out, they was going to go down 2-1, and he came out of nowhere and, put up like 20-some points in the fourth quarter. That really could have ended that series for them. They would have went down, 3-1? Or 2-1 right there, and who knows what they would have done in that second game in Indiana. So it is what it is, man. He gets his money, highest paid player I think ever, right? As far as average per year. I think it's what 70-something million per year. That's ridiculous. 4 years, 285
Yeah.
million. So I mean, it's well deserved, man. And then he put that team on his back a lot of this season, and they were the best team throughout the whole season, even throughout the playoffs. So you got to give him that respect. But let's see if he, keeps that same energy and that same motor and that same motivation to go out there and get OKC another one. Because with that money, they're saying you got to bring us multiple players. One ain't good enough.
Yeah. Supermax extension for Gilgeous-Alexander, and yes, he does become the highest paid player in league history. These records are always getting broken though every time.
Yeah, it'd be broken
salaries go
year.
up. But coach, man, speak on Shy and Gilgeous-Alexander, SGA as we call him. I have so much trouble pronouncing that name for some reason. SGA, speak on him and what this means for the Thunder.
I'm gonna say this. Number one about the Thunder. I've been talking a lot of the stats. The Thunder's offensive rating was third in the league at 20.3. Their defensive rating though was first at 107.5. So, and their net rating was plus 12.8, which was also first in the league. That speaks volumes to what your leader, which is Shy, however you want to say it.
SGA from now on, I'm not even going there no more. I'm not about to look at that man's name.
Exactly. So, when you look at what his numbers were last year, 32.7 points per game, 5 rebounds, 6.4 assists. So think about that. He's also getting other guys in position to make it to produce. His field goal percentage, 51.9%. 3 points. Now he needs to improve on his 3-point shooting, 37.5. But his free throw, 89.8. And his efficiency is 56.9. So based on those numbers, and here's one other thing. He did what Kevin Durant, Kevin Harden, and Russell Westbrook couldn't do. They couldn't do it. He won them their first championship. So I understand why he got his money, and you can't argue it. You can't argue the amount. League MVP, Finals MVP. Scoring leader. You look at everything that he did this year. He was the true leader of that team. He deserves the money. If you're going to sit here and talk about, LeBron James and Kevin Durant and all these other guys and their money and so on and so forth, I don't think they've done what he did though. I think SGA is only in 4 other people. Well, he's one of 4 to have done everything that he's done this year. Michael Jordan, of course. I think it was Wilt. Was it Wilt?
Kareem.
Oh, Kareem. And who's the other one I'm forgetting? I'm forgetting someone else. Oh, Shaq. Yes, thank you. That tells you, everybody talks about LeBron. Well, he hasn't done what Shea has done. So, Kevin Durant hasn't done it. So hey, even Steph Curry. So this young man, and he's young, and this team is young, and they're just only going to get better and better. So, so hey,
who else I ain't sit here on that list? LeBron James. Yeah, speaking of. LeBron, man, opting into his player option. We touched a little bit on last episode about that, man, but the Lakers are in this hunt for a big man. They looking for a center. and they can't find one right now.
Man, he can do everything. Put him at center. That's what LeBron fans say. He can do everything, so put him at center. The logo threes. There you go.
I'm trying to get this man a center, and Clint Capella went back to Houston. We're gonna get into the Rockets in a minute. Major moves by the Rockets. Finney Smith also left the Lakers to go to the Rockets. And Ayton's still out there, but Jericho Sims re-signed. Valanciunas got, pool is thinning out. Luka Doncic, LeBron James combination. I'm struggling to find out how this is supposed to work. And again, y'all don't play no defense. Y'all don't play no defense, so. But LeBron, everybody's talking about LeBron. Everybody's talking about possibly whether or not he stays in LA. I don't think he's going anywhere. Why would he? And who would want to trade for LeBron at that age and that contract? We got to be serious here. The Lakers, I don't know. Have they done anything?
Yeah, I don't
Have they done anything? But sign LeBron.
Yeah.
That had to be first and foremost, right? Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Even though Luka Doncic is the face of the franchise now, you should be out going and getting that man some help. Like getting him a big man that can block some shots when the defenders eventually blows by him. But talk about this Lakers team. Talk about what moves should they be making? And are they even making the right moves? Are they headed in the right direction? Ayton's still out there now. They still got time. This is the first day of free agency, but Laker fans are freaking out. They don't. It's a little bit of nervousness in Laker land now. A little bit of teeny weensy bit of uncertainty, possibly a whole lot. Because I don't know what this team gonna do. They don't look like a good team to me. We just talked about the teams in the West, and we're gonna talk about some more. But talk about these cats for a second, y'all.
I think the Lakers are in a position where they just gotta let go. You know, you let LeBron hold you hostage for 8 years now. You know, you got you one bubble championship.
They re-signed Reeves yet?
No, he gave up his
Yeah. So, you know, like I said, you're losing guys like Reeves. You may lose a guy like Reeves. You're losing a bunch of your young guys. Now you might have to give up Dalton Connect to get a big man in a trade somehow, some way. LeBron is 45 years old. You're paying him $52 million a year. A guy that doesn't play any defense. Still not clutching my eyes. And, you know, he holds so many people accountable but himself. Like, I've seen plays where people will literally push him into defensive position, push him in the back to go out there and guard somebody, but he doesn't want to. He still wants to shoot the three. Still wants to be like Steph Curry now. He still wants to dribble the ball like he has a bag. Like, he would be so dominant if he would get in the post, but he doesn't like to do that. And then he's ball dominant. So is Luka Doncic. They're both ball dominant. So that dynamic doesn't work too much, and it doesn't let people like Austin Reeves show off his ability because you have to worry about them getting their stats, him and Luka. So I just think they're a team in flux, and they should just find some way to get away from LeBron James and build around Luka Doncic, get some shooters around him, let him handle that ball the way that he handles the ball, and I think they'll be a very good team going forward. But you got to get rid of that dude. And a lot of LeBron fans ain't going to like this. Oh, you're a hater and all. No, I'm just telling you the truth. Sometimes it's addition by subtraction, and that dude got to go. like he do. He's holding people back. I'm telling you.
Strong words from Big Pat. LeBron got to go. Coach, how do you feel about LeBron and the Lakers?
All right. LeBron getting his money. I mean, I'm never going to begrudge a man getting his money, number one, but 52 mil
It's a lot.
for a 40-year-old man. 41. He'll be 41 during the season. So let's just say like 41 years old. That right there puts a stranglehold on the franchise. You know, now, mind you, 24.4 points a game, 7.8 rebounds, 8.2 assists. Decent numbers. 51% field goal, 37.6 threes, so he has to improve there. 78% on the free throws and 57.1 is the efficiency field goal rating. The Lakers as a whole, their offensive rating was 12th in the league at 115.8. Defensively, they were 15th in the league at 114.7, which is a plus 1.2 in their net rating, which was 14th in the league. So they're a middle of the pack team right now, and now you're losing play. Now think about that: you were a middle of the pack team, and you're losing key players off of that team. So you don't have a big man, so you need to get a big man. You need a center. I'm sorry, you do. You know, whether you say LeBron go down there and play center, I can't do it. It's not. He's not going to do it. I can't expect him at 41 years old to play down in the post for 82 games. I just can't. I can't. You still need another big man. You know who? I don't know. But that's the problem, right? That's one of the problems. And what are you doing to pick up for the guys who have left? Because these are glue guys, you know, who do a little bit of the dirty work that, you know, you need for your team. So LeBron, I'm not expecting him to get 24 points a game going into next year. I'm just not. Not consistent, not for the whole season. I'm sorry, I'm not. You know, and he can take care of his body. He can do everything that he plans on doing, whatever, living in, you know, his little machine, whatever, you know, fountain of youth. Okay, you know, respect. I respect that you're working on your body, because you know most guys at 40 are not going to do what you're doing. Let's be real, you know. So the aches and pains start kicking in, and we just want to sit back and, you know, chill. But 52 mil, you could have done a whole lot more. You could have opted out and done other things, 1+1, and taken less money to help the team. You know, so, you know, and I think they were talking about it on Sportsmanlike this morning. They said one of the things is LeBron has a no trade clause, so he has some semblance of power, where they don't think the Lakers wanted to give him a no trade clause, which they're trying to take back the power. And, you know, right now, all right, fine, go play the 1 year. Yeah, right now you want to have.
And Bradley Bill, I ain't get a no trade clause, but anyway,
that's pretty much it. So
Ridiculous.
You know,
but yeah, I could definitely see it with LeBron. I mean, you know, he is the face of the league, well, for now, but a guy that rivals LeBron in a sense in this era of basketball is Kevin Durant. And Kevin Durant got traded. Kevin Durant on the move again. This time going to the Rockets. This Houston Rockets team, now, you know, mind you, I'm no KD fan, hint, hint, but he's still one of the best bucket getters in the NBA. And you pair him with that Rockets team, the team that they're building, they brought back Clint Capella, went in there and got Dorian Finney-Smith, you know, re-signed Fred VanVleet. You know, this team making some moves, man. Houston Rockets are making some moves. Jabari Smith Jr. So this is a dangerous team in the Western Conference. This is a very dangerous team in the Western Conference, man. And I think when you add Kevin Durant to the number 2 seed last year in the West, you primed to have a damn good regular season. Question is, when them playoffs come and then stakes get high, are you going to be able to perform in those moments? You got some vets though. You got Ime Udoka, the coach. Now you got KD, who's been there, done that. You got Fred VanVleet, who's been there, done that. You know, so you got some vets in the mix, some championship, accolades, if you want to say that. So I like this Houston team. I think they got the right mix of vets and some young guys, man. But talk about the Rockets, man.
Man, the Rockets are a very interesting team, man. The Rockets are a very interesting team. This is, what their lineups are looking like, man. You got Fred VanVleet, nice. Amon Thompson, nice. Kevin Durant is Durant. Jabari Smith, nice. Sungin, nice. Cam Whitmore coming off the bench. Dorian Finney-Smith coming off the bench. Tari Eason coming off the bench. Aquaman himself coming off the bench. And Steven Adams. This is a very nice roster, folks. Not going to lie to you. And they've given Kevin Durant another chance to go out there and be a leader of a team to take them to the championship. And that's where I think they would go wrong. You make Kevin Durant be the veteran, let him knock down his threes, let him get in the post and take his turnaround jump shots. When you need Kevin Durant to bring you the offense, that's when you allow him to do what he does. If I'm the head coach, you see what I'm saying? I'm not letting him take over the ball, be the main primary ball handler. No, I'm letting him try to find a role for him to play like he played with Golden State when he was not the focal point. It was actually Steph Curry bringing up the ball and things of such. And then they let Kevin Durant do his thing when they needed that influx of offense. They have a squad to do this. You got your defense and Amon Thompson and Sungin and Jabari Smith on the front line. Dorian Finney-Smith coming and Steven Adams coming in on the back line. Let him score points. That's all you do. Let him score points. Don't make him the focal point. Don't push him as this all-star, all-world type talent. No, he is Kevin Durant. He gets buckets. Everybody else do your damn job. That's it. And I think they will be dynamite. But if you try to put it in this dude's hands and put all that pressure on him, he has to lead us to a championship, you're gonna fall. I know you are. But if they just play basketball and everybody plays their role, yes, Kevin Durant's role is going to be immense, but it's still a role. Don't make him to be out to be Superman because he's not. He'll fail you every time. But that's just my ordeal on it. Go ahead, Coach.
I'm going to touch the Rockets in 1 minute, but before I do that, according to Shams Charania, Duncan Robinson is signed to a 3-year, $48 million contract, and it's going to be a sign and trade where he's going from Miami to Detroit, and Detroit is sending Simone Fontecchio to Miami. All right, so this just came over right now, so that's why I'm reading this to you guys now. So we'll be paying attention to that as we go along. So you guys hit everything perfectly. Don't make Kevin Durant to be the vocal leader. Let Fred VanVleet be the vocal leader. He can definitely do that, and let these young guys, continue to develop and play. Now, one thing I will say that on Sportsmanlike, they talked about, and it had me scratching my head, and I said, if Houston did this, I'm sorry, that in my opinion, it will put them over OKC. And that's trading for Giannis. Because if you put Giannis, now, number one, they made a very valid point. Houston has draft picks and young talent that you can trade. And you don't have to gut the roster either to trade to get Giannis if he were to become available. And if you would put him and KD together on the floor, together, I'm sorry, that's scary. That's a scary thought. Now that's hypothetical, but I just wanted to, put that out there. But Houston, right now, I think they can, based on this roster, I think they can compete with OKC. OKC, I have to give them the edge because they've already done it, but they have the head coach. They have some very good players. They have some young good players. They have depth. So it's how do they gel? So
yeah, that's interesting. Don't know if I necessarily would feel the fit with Giannis and Houston and Kevin Durant. I just don't. KD's a weird athlete, man. You gotta understand, like it. He had these times to play with these superstars, and it hasn't worked out. I think this is the best fit for KD, is not being around a bunch of other stars. Honestly. Now, it worked out in Golden State. We know why. But it was short-lived. That team should have stayed together and kept winning championships. But again, Kevin Durant got something about him where he's not really that vocal leader and he's not really wanting to, but at the same time, he's still got to be like the main part of the team on the court. It's like, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to lead, but give me the ball. Like,
yeah. Kevin Durant is an assassin. All you want him to do is be that assassin. That's it. Everything else, as far as, being a team leader and all that stuff, that's the problem. I'm sorry. Too many people try to put that expectation on him. Let him just be an assassin. Let him play ball.
But I don't know how he's been given that label when he was playing with Kyrie and Harden and them in Brooklyn, and then he was playing with the same squad in Thunder. And then the perception is that Kevin Durant has not had the opportunity to really have his own team. This is it.
Yeah,
that's it. This is really it. Pull that up again, Pat. The lineup, so we could really break this down. Where's the star? It's KD.
No, of course. No. Prior to this, it was always talked about
he's a good player, but they're not there
yet. He's a young player. Yeah, you're right. He's not there as yet. He's young, but he's ascending to be a star. I mean, he can become a superstar if he continues to develop his game. He's a star, and basketball fans have told me there's a difference between a star and a superstar. So, I'm going based on that. So, Sagoon is a star.
We could mince words, but ain't no KD here. Ain't no James Harden. Ain't no Kyrie Irving. There ain't no Steph Curry. There ain't no Russell Westbrook. There ain't no Devin Booker. Like, this is a young squad, and Van Vliet's a good player, nice veteran leader, but he ain't like that. But and Sengun, but I'm talking about at the level of a Kevin Durant.
I'm just thinking because I'm thinking leadership. He's won a championship. He knows what to do, so he can put people in the right position and let KD be the assassin. Let him be the focal point offensively where teams try to, focus their defense on him, which opens up other guys. So that's what I'm getting at in terms of that. So when I say he's won a championship.
Point being, is this is KD's real first time really being a dude on a team like this. Now, in which way he does that, that, like you said, is it letting Van Vliet, do all the shit talking or whatever and leading or whatever, and I'm just gonna sit back and hit threes and play it cool and not have that much pressure on me, but it's still gonna be there because you're Kevin Durant, So I think this is how he can get his cake and eat it too, because you don't really have to take a back seat to anybody, but in the same time you can still be the man. You see what I'm saying?
That's fair. Fair.
I think this is what KD really wanted. I think this is probably the best fit for him, because he don't have to take a backseat to none of them dudes on that team, but he also don't have to be the vocal, like the what people want him to be, as far as being a dude that's really elevating the talent around him. But
he gets to be Kevin Durant. I think this, don't push him to be this savior for the Houston Rockets when you do the season to try to sell tickets and put all that pressure on him. Just say, hey, look, we got Kevin Durant. We're a good team. He's going to come and do what he does, and we'll see where the chips fall. And I think they will have a very good season. If they got the number 2 seed without him, the only thing they gave up was Jalen Green. I think they can do some damage out there.
True.
Yeah, most definitely, man. But I cannot end this show without talking about the Mavs, man. The Mavs. That's Mavericks. We can't look. We done talked about the Knicks. We done talked about the Nets a little bit. We can't leave you out, Pat. We can't leave you out.
Let's talk about the Knicks.
We didn't talk about the Knicks.
No. And that's fine.
They didn't sign anybody but Jordan Clarkson, but we could speak on that.
No. We don't have to talk about them. We're good.
This is what we need to be talking about right here. Mr. Cooper Flag is
let's talk about
lost Luka Doncic. Hey, we signed.
Talking about Mike Brown, coach. You talking about Mike Brown?
Yeah, Mike Brown.
I'm good, bro.
Hey, we just signed D'Lo to come in to fill in until Mr. Kyrie Irving gets back. Anthony Davis is getting healthy. Hey, listen, this is what our roster is looking like coming up to this season. Kyrie Irving, Klay Thompson, Cooper Flag, Anthony Davis, and Derek Lively Jr. And then we got PJ Washington, D'Lo, Spencer
man, Kyrie,
Najee Marshall, and Daniel Gafford coming off the bench. We are literally 10 deep, not to forget about Brandon Williams, who's a very good point guard coming off the bench. We are about 12 deep this year, folks. And I think we can compete. The only thing that's going to hold us back is Kyrie Irving probably won't be back until about January, which will hurt us.
Kyrie looked like he about 45 years old.
But this is the first time I've been excited about my Mavericks since we traded Luka Doncic. It's looking a little bit okay. It's lessening the blow a little bit. Still would rather have Luka here, but we got a nice bench coming off the bench, and we got a nice starting 5 as long as everybody can stay healthy. And if Klay Thompson can get that 3 back, because the court's gonna be open now. You can't double Anthony Davis and double Kyrie Irving and double Cooper Flag and expect to cover Klay Thompson running around, get ready to shoot some threes. We got PJ Washington and Najee Marshall, 2 great wings coming off the bench, another big and Daniel Gafford coming off the bench, Spencer Dinwiddie, another tall guy that can play shooting guard or the wing at 6'7", one of those NYG type guards. And D'Lo's a veteran. He can handle it. He can handle it until Kyrie gets back, man. So I'm excited about my Mavs this upcoming season, man. What y'all guys think about them?
A couple things I noticed about the Mavs. One, if you swap D'Lo for Kyrie, which they're gonna do anyway, it's an all light-skinned lineup. 2, Derek Lively looks scary. He looked like he just escaped insane asylum.
It's the way he plays too.
But that being said, nah, man. I'm trolling, I'm joking, man. This team is going to be a force in the West, if they could stay healthy. And that's the thing with Clay, with Kyrie, with AD especially.
Yeah.
But if they could stay healthy, they're going to be a problem. They're going to be a problem. They are going to be able to compete, with the top teams, with the Rockets, with the Thunder, Lakers and Clippers, so on and so forth. AD is a very good fucking. I think people forget about AD because he don't be healthy like that. But this dude can play. He's good. You know what I'm saying? He's a legit, double defensive, force. Klay Thompson, Kyrie, I mean, you can't get much better in the backcourt, to be honest with you. 2 Hall of Famers. Again, when healthy. And Cooper Flagg's the number 1 pick in the draft. Best player in the draft. You got gifted. I'll continue to say that. You got a gift.
Absolute gift and getting Cooper Flagg, the number 1 pick. How do we get the number 1 pick? Yeah,
I'm waiting on our gift, Brooklyn. But anyway, NBA, you know what I'm saying? Y'all owe us. But cool, and then you add D-Russ for Kyrie insurance. Good low-key move there. I'm waiting to see if they add any more depth to this squad, as far as defense, as far as hey, look, a lot of these players do get hurt. We've been talking about that, so you want to make sure you got some, which they do got some good backups, but you need to be solid all the way around. These teams are building out 1 through 12 now. So, but yeah, I do like the Mavs roster. I do like their outlook. Even without Kyrie, you looking at a top 4 team in the West, in my opinion. A top 4 team in the West. It does hurt that Luka's not there. Because if he was in that lineup, it'd be crazy work. But again, all dependent on health. It's very, very key. Very key with this squad because you got 3 of your main guys and they all stay hurt. Especially Kyrie and Anthony Davis. But Coach, what's your thoughts?
I mean, everything is going to be based right now until Kyrie gets back around, of course, Anthony Davis. Yes, number 1, if Luka was there, it would be a different team. We all know that, and we can agree to that. But AD, 24.7 points, 11.6 rebounds. So that's a double-double. 3.5 assists, which points to his guard-like skills that he played when he was in high school. 51.8% on the field goal, 28.2 on the 3. So he didn't do well with 3-pointers, so he needs to vastly improve there. Otherwise, get back down low and continue to play there. 77.5% on the free throws. To me, for a big man, that needs to be better, especially if you definitely need to go down low. And his effective field goal percentage is 53.6%. So very good player, good talent, areas to improve. And it will definitely help this team. You guys just went over the lineup, which, would definitely play into a big factor into helping them improve overall. Dallas as a whole last year, their offensive rating was 17th in the league at 114.8. Defensively, they were 21st at 116, which is a negative 1.2, which was 19th in the league. So there's great opportunities for improvement across the board, but with what they've amassed, you can see it going up. Now, it's going to be tough in the West. It definitely is. So, but, the opportunity is definitely going to be there for them.
Yeah, man. Like I said, this is a team to be on the lookout for in that Western Conference. And yeah, man, I think we about got it done, fellas. I think we about got it done. Dennis Schroeder signed with the Kings. Don't want to leave that out. Your Knickerbockers coach. Now we're gonna speak on him. Gershon Yabusele. Gershon Yabusele. They signed him. They also signed Jordan Clarkson. But the Knicks need a coach, man. Coach. Go get your team a coach. They need one. Or you coach them. Shit.
You know I'm not a basketball coach, so let's not even go there. So, but
hey, you know basketball, bro. You know ball, man. Stop it. You know basketball, bro. You know it just as well as football. You know you do.
I will say this: if y'all hire Mike Brown as y'all coach, yeah, it's definitely gonna be ran by the players. That's for sure. Do I think the Knicks will be bad? No, I think the Knicks will still be good. But it's not just about being good with the Knicks anymore. It's about competing for championships because you guys have made that the goal. 5 draft picks for Mikal Bridges, traded for Karl Anthony Towns, building the Villanova boys, giving Brunson that money, pushing Brunson the way that he's been pushed, which was well deserved. I think he's one of the most clutch players in the NBA when it comes down to being clutch in the fourth quarter. But you guys are going to need Bridges to step up. It's just something about Bridges' game that I think that he just can't get past those floating jumpers. He's always fading away for some reason. You're going to need OG Anunoby more offense this season. What's with Karl Anthony Towns? Did he show that he's the little cat again when it comes to playing defense? I think the Knicks got some questions to answer. And considering what happened in the East, that's why I'm still giving you guys a shot. Because now you're one of the better teams in the East after what's happened with injuries and things. But you can't let somebody like the Milwaukee Bucks take you out. You can. The Pistons ain't going nowhere. The Magic, let's see what they do after doing what they have done, getting Desmond Bane in the trade to go with Poncho. So y'all have to do it now, man. This was built for y'all to do this now. This wasn't a 5-year plan. So I'm going to be excited to see what the Knicks do this year. Shout out to Man Cave right here on the Aboriginal Sports Network with all your Knicks needs, your Knicks news. He calls the games. Shout out to Man Cave. Definitely be following him this season right here on the network to see what the Knicks do. But it's going to be tough for you guys, man. Again, because those young teams, they ain't playing with y'all. And I'm telling you, man, y'all gotta get stronger, man. That's all I gotta say, man. Y'all gotta get stronger.
Coach, man, talk about your team, man. How do you feel about Joe?
There's nothing else to talk about, man. Seriously, there's nothing else to talk about right now. So we covered everything, so we good.
Yeah, man. Clippers signed Brook Lopez. I mean, the Knicks, man. Remember, not saying you, but I got a lot of heat. When I kept telling you guys, Bridges, what round pick. Now you got Coach fired, and you went around here chasing Mike Brown.
But I mean, we're seeing in the league not elite players are going for this right now because it's not just him now. So, but that's another subject matter. So,
yeah,
4 first round picks for other guys. So, I mean, what that's to me, what that's saying is down the road, what is it going to cost you for your elite level players?
10.
Exactly. That's my point. So we can joke about this, we can laugh about this, but there's a new market. That's what you got to look at. Because if Bridges is going for that and what's his name goes for 4 first round draft picks, it's like, okay, wait a minute. What honestly, what could a Giannis go for? 7, 8, 9. So but again,
Your future, your
that's
wife, your
something.
car, your
And
kids.
the way, don't
Kids.
forget the way the trade, you can't trade back to back. So it's like you really for an elite superstar, you're mortgaging your future. You're mortgaging not 5 years, not 10 years, but you're probably mortgaging almost 20 years down the road, based on the way the market, in my opinion, looks to be headed. I could be wrong, but Bridges goes for 5 and what's the name goes for 4 first round draft picks, and they're okay. They're not scrubs, but what is it? What do you really get for Giannis, man? Seriously. But
yeah, if Bridges is worth 5, Giannis is worth 15. So
I mean,
he's worth 2 decades of first round picks if that's the case.
But who set that standard?
Yeah, the Knicks.
Look, you can try and spin it that way, but everybody, they're always, no matter what, in whatever sports, to set a trend, somebody has to start it. So
we did.
Yay! Whoever did whatever. The point being is, the trend now, because it's a copycat. Everybody copycats. And look, I don't want to keep talking about this.
I know it's upsetting, but
no, it's not upsetting. To me, it's not upsetting. But you know what? Let me leave it alone.
This was NBA Heat Check, man, podcast. And you're gonna get some heat. You're gonna get some heated debates. Especially in the season with these Knicks. Let's see how this turned out. Oh, boy, I'm gonna have my popcorn ready. Oh yeah.
The Knicks. Man, shout out to the Knicks though. We went further than my people did. Shit, we even making it to the playoffs, so it is what it is. But man, this has been a heat check, man. Love this episode. Love doing this podcast, man. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. A breakdown of the NBA free agency right here on the Aboriginal Sports Network, the ABSN. Shout out to all our teams, the Nets, Mavericks, and Knicks, respectfully, and the Bulls. I am a Bulls fan, but hey, there's no need to get angry. All our teams aren't doing as well as they should be. But the Nets, I am excited to see what the Nets do this season. And I'm actually excited to see what my Mavericks and the Knicks do this season. There's a lot of expectations for each one of these teams.
I can't wait for the Knicks season.
Yeah, I can't wait either to see exactly what's going to happen to them. But any last words from everybody? I know, Coach, you're going to do your show here in a second, so definitely got to get out of here. But any last words from you guys?
Nah, I'm just excited for like you said, for the Knicks season. Cause I know what the Nets are doing. They in tank mode again. You gotta keep tanking till you luck up and get that number 1 pick the Dallas stole from us this year. But anyway,
yeah, I don't know.
But I am excited, man. To see how some of these teams turned out. It seems like teams are trying to build more structural teams, more team oriented, not chasing the superstars. So I am excited to see how some of these teams play out. The East is very, very kind of, we don't know what's going on with the East right now. So I'm especially be paying close attention to the East and the Knicks and every other team in the East too. This Bucks team is intriguing. Especially now, Dame's gone. What are they doing? We could laugh at the Knicks, but Milwaukee is on another one. But definitely excited to see some of the young teams too. Orlando, Detroit. This Hawks team is sneaky good. So
I think
keep
we're
your eye
getting
on
back to the
those.
team aspect in basketball, man. It's gonna be truly, truly exciting.
Yeah, and the West is gonna be a dogfight. I mean, you got
Mhm.
Spurs, Rockets, Thunder, Timberwolves did it, Nuggets making moves. You know, you still got the LA teams hanging around. It's gonna be crazy out there in the West.
Yeah.
But that's all I got, man. And until our next episode, man, y'all make sure y'all hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, man. Help this channel grow, help the ABSN network grow. And let's push this podcast out there, man. We talking basketball, we talking NBA. It is hot and heavy. That's why we named this joint Heat Check. We out.
Yeah.
Peace.